Hi, I'm Brent Lyles with Chicken Hill Solutions and NYOS Charter School. I'm back with the final installment in our 6-part series of videos about grants and grant writing and how to put together a great grants program. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some tips and tricks in a general sense about how to put together great grant applications and how to be successful. My first tip is to be realistic with yourself about what skills you have. If you know that you're not a great writer, find somebody who is. That's something I mentioned in one of the earlier videos. And by the same token, if you're putting together a budget, say, and you haven't used Microsoft Excel very much, find someone who's got those mad Excel skills who can help you make that look really pretty so that when you submit that budget with your grant application, it looks great and it's really easy to understand. Maybe it's a volunteer with your organization, or maybe it's a fellow staff member. It doesn't make sense to do it alone. Find somebody who can help you out. Another example is evaluation. There are people out there who have been trained in how to do great program evaluation. Find one of them and buy them a cup of coffee and pick their brains so that you can put in qualitative and quantitative measures to your programming that help it be really successful and also can help you demonstrate that impact to your funder. My second tip is to put yourself in the prospect's shoes every step of the way. Let's say you're doing the research and you are looking at a family foundation's website. You're going through and you're looking at their different priorities. Try to read between the lines. Try to get inside their head and find out what really motivates them. That way, when you're writing your grant application, you can hit those same notes. If they're interested in A, B, and C, your grant narrative should also hit A, B, and C, right? You don't want to be writing it from the perspective of what you want to tell them. It should be from the perspective of what do they want to hear. When you're doing that research, by the way, don't try to think of ingenious ways that you can fit their priorities. Let me give you an example. I used to work at a river organization, and we would see these grant opportunities all the time asking for proposals about providing clean, safe drinking water. Now, we were a river organization, so it was very tempting to say, well, we're a river and that's water, right? We should apply to this. But no, the reality is that for that grant opportunity, they are going to receive applications that talk about supplying clean, safe drinking water. And if I'm coming in there with my river application, forget about it. It's not going to get funded. Another tip that I have for y'all is to write your application narrative at an 8th grade comprehension level. 8th grade? Now, why would I say that? It's not because the grantors are stupid. Far from it. Think of them. They are sitting there with a pile of applications. They've got 100 of them that they have to get through. If your application is written in language that is clear and concise and very understandable, then they are going to get it right away and they're going to score it highly and it's going to compare favorably to all these other applications. Don't get into the jargon. Don't turn it into a PhD dissertation. Now, there is a tool within Microsoft Word that can help you do that. When you go into the settings under spelling and grammar, you'll see a little checkbox that says Show Readability Statistics. If you check that box and then you do the spell check on your document, it'll show you something called the Flesch-Kincaid reading level. It's a super powerful tool that's really helpful when you're writing grant applications. It can help you make sure that you're not using language that's too complicated. Another tip I have is about collaboration. Sometimes there are grant opportunities that actually require you to have a partner or require you to collaborate. So many times I have seen schools or nonprofits say, uh-oh, we need to collaborate. Hey, you, come on over here and be our partner on this. Like they don't think through it, and then that leads to problems later. When they get the grant and they're actually trying to implement the program, it's not clear what the roles of the different partners are. It's not clear who's getting the money for which pieces of it, and sometimes that can get really tense. So when you collaborate really carefully, collaborate thoughtfully. Make sure that it's something that's really improving the results of that program. Finally, my last tip is don't take no personally. Now listen, I've been rejected a lot when I've written grant applications. Remember that most grant applications do get rejected. You're going to get rejected. But don't take it personally. If that funder isn't going to get excited about what you're doing, let them go. Find somebody else who is. You know how important and how impactful your work is, and you got to believe in that. And don't get discouraged by getting turned down once or twice with grant applications. Keep going at it because you are going to get turned down once in a while. there's grantors that are out there for you and that will give you the money. All right, well, you've sat through a whole series of videos. We talked about putting together a great program plan. We've talked about doing research to find a good fit for your programs and how to write a great application. We've talked about how to use the tools and reporting to build a relationship with that funder. You've got a really solid overview of grants now. This is going to help you be successful in your efforts down the road. If there's anything else I can do to help you, please let me know. This has been a lot of fun for me to put together these videos, and I hope that you've been able to get some good information out of them. Let me know how it's been going. Thanks.